It is very possible that Rufai Oseni of Arise TV may be sacked any moment from now, or he may be forced to resign any moment from now, because Kasala boss few years ago. Arise TV on fire right now because the video that they never wanted Rufai to release as per Akpabio secret with Natasha and all of that, Rufai finally released it few hours ago. He said he don't care, that he already know that this is what Akpabio is going to do, that he already keep the video on ground. You will see for yourself in this very video. I will play the full video. Nobody even expected it. Even Akpabio himself never expected it. Natasha herself did not see this coming. Nobody ever know that Rufai have this kind of video. So I will play the full video now. You will see things the way it goes. So I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as you're watching it, just do what to share it. Share to the best social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome me back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just do what to click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know by notifying you. You know, a lot of things have been happening as far as Natasha and Akpabio case is concerned, and a lot of people have finally come out. A lot of people come out to make their own view, they make their own opinion as far as the case is concerned. Though what is delaying everyone now is the fact that Natasha have not revealed the evidence that she claimed that she have against Akpabio, and you know the matter is already in court, and Akpabio have been expecting Natasha to release the evidence, but Natasha says she's not going to release the evidence because she did not want the evidence to come dead before arrival. You know, a lot of things have happened in the Senate, and they always tell Natasha that her petition is dead before arrival and all of that. So some senators came out to say that, but the same person that you telling that her petition comes dead before arrival, that same person, you can't expect the person to release evidence because they will still make the evidence to be null and void. It will be dead before arrival. So Natasha said it herself in Channels TV. You know, this woman came out when she was asking her of evidence. She said it is until they plan to investigate the matter, that is when she will release the evidence that she had against Akpabio, because Natasha is a very smart person. Everybody expected her to have evidence, but this woman refused to release the evidence. But Kasala boss 3 years ago, Arise TV on fire right now. Rufai Oseni may resign by force by fire because of what they're gonna do to this man, and this man may get a sack letter as far as Natasha case is concerned, because the video that they never expected Rufai to release few hours ago, Rufai finally released the video. They never expected it. Where do Rufai see all this kind of thing? That's a question that a lot of people have been asking. So I will play the full video. You will see things for yourself. He said it's not even scared of being sacked and all. So if you can share the video, just want to share it as you're watching it. Share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like the video. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. You know, Rufai Oseni is always not to come out to say the truth the way it is. He will never be biased in the judgment. He will never come out to say things the way it is, never, and all of that. But Rufai in question, since when the issue of Natasha came out, Rufai did not really see a lot of things as far as the case is concerned, and that have got a lot of people suspicious and all, because the Rufai in question will always come out to behave the way he knows how to behave best. He will address the matter. He will ask questions that will unveil the truth out. But Rufai never do any of this, not knowing that Rufai already have a video that he have already kept for this own sake and all. You know, this man did everything possible to ensure that he dig out the truth of the matter, and you know, they never expected, they never see it coming. A lot of people have already come out to support Akpabio. Some people came out to support Natasha. A lot of people in the Senate, they put their support for Akpabio. Even people that they never expected that they will support Akpabio, they put their support for Akpabio, even to the extent that a person came out in support of Akpabio and made it known to the general public that Natasha is guilty and she ought to be suspended. And that is why a lot of the senators in the Halo chamber there, they supported Akpabio for suspending Natasha for gross misconduct and all of that. But they never addressed the issue that led to the gross misconduct. They never addressed the issue that make Natasha to behave irrationally the way she actually behaved, because on the norms, Natasha actually disrespected Akpabio. It's very obvious, but the misbehavior in question, what triggers it is what they refuse to address as far as everything is concerned. And a lot of people are not even seeing to that, but Rufai of Arise TV I've done it again. And this man did it this time without feeling remorse, and he played out the video in Arise TV without feeling remorse, without even thinking that okay, he can lose his job or anything can happen to him. This man come out straight the way he normally come out straight. So I'll play the full video now. You will see things the way it goes. You know, a lot of Nigerians are actually waiting patiently for Natasha to release the evidence that she had and all of that. Even Very Dark Man and some other big names, they actually came out. They said Natasha cannot accuse someone of a particular issue without having an evidence. The issue of sexual harassment is a very big issue. Now you can't accuse someone without an evidence, but some people came out, they said Natasha cannot have an evidence because there are some big office that you will have to enter in Nigeria. Before you enter those office, you will have to drop your digital asset, you have to drop any electronic stores eyes on you, your phone, your gadget, your earpod, everything that you can use to record. They will drop everything, they will collect everything from you. Now tell me, when you're in that kind of office, can you really record? Even when they are harassing you, how can you record it? But the fact remains, Natasha is more smarter than what we think, because this lady is a legal practitioner, and for that kind of person to be victimized and all of that, for that kind of person to fall victim of all those kind of sexual harassment, if you really want to catch Akpabio as alleged by Natasha, since Natasha alleged him, if Natasha really wants to catch him, Natasha would have played along, and after playing along, she would have recorded Akpabio on phone, on call and all of that. So the evidence is what Nigerians are demanding for. If she can release the evidence in phone record format or SMS format or thereabout or video format or all of that, fine. Even though if it is audio, is fine. Nigerians are cool by it. That is when they will know how to devour the Senate and all of that. That's what a lot of Nigerians are saying. But if there's no evidence, Akpabio is still innocent, and he can still even come out to say that he did not do what Natasha said and all of that. So the opinion of a lot of people now, as far as Natasha case is concerned, and Akpabio have been dashed to the dust by Rufai Oseni. Come and see the way Rufai does Akpabio and all the senators that actually supported Akpabio and all of that. He dragged them, he disgraced them, he does them. He released a video that got them speechless and all of that. So I'll play the full video now. If you can share the video, share it. If you can't share it, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
It is not unusual for the Senate to make mistake, and we have a platform for senators in 1999 where we discuss this matter, and the structure of the Senate has provision to avoid this level of mistake. We have the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters that could have been given the opportunity to review the report of the Ethics Committee so that they will not make this level of blunder. One could see clearly that they went on a frolic, and it was a self-serving report. They didn't refer, they didn't believe that there have been senators before them, and what has been the reaction of the judiciary to this level of suspension. Natasha is the sixth senator to be suspended, from JKF Waku to Omar Gege to Ningi to Ali Ndume, and the court has frowned very vehemently to that kind of attitude, and they should have already known that what they are doing was just going on a heroic adventure which could be prevented, and it is a pity. During our days in the Senate, we had elders, people who are old, who are mature, that this sort of issue should have been discussed in-house. Like the relocation of seats is normal, but it is not when a senator is entering the chamber that you now tell the senator your seat has been changed. It is totally administratively wrong. If you are changing a seat, which is okay, you will have conveyed this decision to the senator prior to the resumption of the plenary, so that you will have known that, look, as I'm going in, they've changed my seat, and the session account will now show me the new seat. But for you, it is unconventional for you to just enter the chamber like that, and somebody tells you, look, this is not your seat has been changed. It is very unusual. It is a little bit of, somebody will be curious why this of this should happen at that level of responsibility. No, it is not right for them to take this decision. And Nigerians have seen that if Natasha goes to court, it is clear that you've gone outside your power and authority. You cannot strip the lady, this distinguished senator, for being a senator. It is not possible. It's not your responsibility. The senator was voted for under the Nigerian constitution, and you are a minority. The majority in our constituency voted for her. How can you say they should not pay our salary? You are not the one determining our salary. It's the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Commission that determines salary of a senator. How does that not become your responsibility to say you will not be paid? Where constitutionally there is under section 111 a commission that is responsible for the provision of payment to senators. You said they should withdraw security. You are not the Inspector General of Police. That is the man responsible for deploying policemen to senators. So all these things they have done, honestly, they did it in a hurry. They should sit down and readdress it and make necessary adjustments. It cannot stand, definitely.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insight, especially from your experience. And I'm glad that for the last statement you made, where you said they were in a hurry.
Yes.
And so it would then pique the interest of a number of people that why the rush? If you want a due process to follow, why this happened in about 24 hours, despite the fact that there was a court order to actually suspend the proceedings, which maybe they said they were reserved or the court had no jurisdiction to determine how the Senate operates. So I'd like you to speak to that. And also, this Order 10, can you give us clarity on it, which she raised after she was asked to move her seat? Some people have said, irrespective of the fact that she raised Order 10 on privileges, she ought to have gone to her new seat in order to have been able to raise an order. Is that true? Whereas she said that Order 10 gives her the privilege to be able to raise, even if she were lying sitting on the floor or anywhere, as long as Order 10 was raised, she ought to have been heard and then a decision made.
So honestly, that is neither here nor there. There must be order in the Senate. And she, out of inexperience, she exposed herself to that level of embarrassment. What normally she should have done was to run quickly to the seat and continue. But when you insist on talking from a seat not allocated to you, I think the Senate President has, authority to debar her from talking. But that section 10 is so crucial that under any condition, if anybody raised that order, you must listen to the senator, but not when you are not properly seated. She should have just run to that place and talk. Nobody could have prevented her. But she shot herself on the foot by insisting on remaining at a position not allocated to her.
And then the rush for the processes, 24 hours, because you talked about that.
That is Nigerian factor. Now you have to rush to make sure that you achieve your aim. They know what to do. They know that they have to consult widely. There is a committee on judiciary and legal matters that should have looked at that and tell them this is not possible. This will be, rubbish by the judiciary, because there are precedents. How can you commit an offense? You know that it is against the law. You didn't elect the woman, and the way they were talking, it was total ignorance of the privilege of a senator. To say she should not parade herself as a senator again.
No, it was not ignorance, it was bias. In fact, before that judgment was made, I had pointed out occasions where I saw bias in the ethics committee, and I was correct.
How can you say a senator should not parade herself?
So it was bias. So in fact, let me also even tell you this, sir. Do you know, in order to be able to perpetrate their sinister act, they moved the day forward. They moved the time 30 minutes forward. And I pointed out that on air last week. I showed the bias, and I was correct. I just want to ask you, for us to start restoring, if there's anything we even call integrity of the Senate, because I don't think there is, what punishment do we mete out to a Senate ethics committee that was unethical? Unethical with point A, violating a court order. A Senate Ethics Committee of the Federal Republic of Nigeria violating a court order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, brazenly saying that they will evade and discard that order, that it cannot stop them for their intention to perpetrate bias, unmitigated bias, which they ended up doing. What punishment should be given to the Ethics Committee?
We refer a lot to the Senate President. And one has no doubt that he was under influence. And the chairman of the committee
was under the influence of who?
Of Mr. President, the president of the Senate.
Okay.
All these things are not done normally. It was predetermined, and they knew where they were going, and they put themselves into the eyes of the public as people who are not properly organized. You don't rush things that you know you show bias, you show that you are not really serious people. That is what they exhibited. There was no need for hurry. If they knew what they were doing, they should have taken more time. But well, it is unfortunate.
So what punishments do we give to the Senate Ethics Committee that became unethical?
It's in the good book of the Senate President. No, it's in the good book of Senate President.
So would they just go scot-free?
That's not everybody
after
can
subjecting our Senate to this charade and show of shame by being biased and ethically unbalanced, and they are the charge of an ethics committee?
If the distinguished senator Natasha goes to court, all these issues will be addressed, and it's left for the judge to condemn that kind of attitude, which they have done in the local constitution you cited, in the case of the Speaker of Bauchi against the House of Assembly member.
That's Bauchi State House of Assembly versus Rufai Ghana,
yes,
which is a 2017 case. But okay, now the Senate is insisting that it can make its own rules. It says in a statement, even by Senator Bamidele Okoyemi yesterday, that look, this issue is not about sexual harassment, it's about gross misconduct on the part of a member of the Senate. I think we can't sit in judgment over this matter. Since the matter is going to go to court and it's within the rights of Senator Naputi Udwa to go to court, let the court decide what happens. But we were listing the various senators who have been suspended in the past. We listed about 5. The total with Naputi Udwa now will be 8.
Yes.
We left out Aton Zeribe. He was suspended at the time. We left out Senator Issa Mohammed from North Central. We left out Senator Femi Okunomu. So the total now will be 8. But I would like you to comment on this issue about sexual harassment. Is it the normal thing in the Senate that the men don't keep their eyes where they should place their eyes? You know, they are always looking at the female senators, even when we say they are very few. How about this issue about sexual harassment in the Senate or the National Assembly? And how serious, in your estimation, is it? And is it an issue that should still be addressed?
Well, my own experience, the female senators did not look at themselves as if they were inferior to men. They were even up to, if you even mention that Itadiwa is a woman, the response you are going to get will make you ashamed of yourself, because they will stand up to you. So, but the beauty of distinguished Senator Natasha is a problem to her.
How can beauty be a problem?
You know, men, when somebody who is pretty passes by you, your attitude will change. You can smile, you can wink, but you may not talk to her. But our beauty is a problem. There's no doubt about that.
How is it a problem, sir?
That's the question.
Why should beauty be a problem?
To men, when she's passing, there's no way a man will not look at that woman.
No, their job is to go and make laws for the good governance of
you may not talk
not to look at beautiful women.
No, it is a natural thing for a man to look at beautiful women. How can you be a man and a beautiful woman is passing and you close your eyes?
I think I have to see my optician. These my glasses will not be working very well.
It is inbuilt.
I see beautiful women every day.
Is that not misogynistic in itself?
Yeah, beyond that.
It may be, you might time it, but it is inbuilt.
Beyond that, Senator.
But let him deal with the question of sexual harassment.
Okay. All right.
So, it did not happen in the Senate. He said when she visited the home of Mr. President. So, and that is a different matter. So, don't let us relate that one to what is happening in the chambers. There is no harassment at all.
All right, so we have to relate it. And the reason why is because what she said was that as a result of her refusing his advancement, she was maligned in the Senate. So the consequences of what happened outside the Senate was bearing on her effectiveness as a senator, because she raised the points that when she would raise her hand, she would not be recognized, and he had even told her that you know what to do when she had talked about a particular bill that she was pursuing. So sexual harassment does have an impact in the chambers. Beyond that, Senator Akpabio himself said that, when he was receiving the gift from the women legislative officers or his staff, that they're all beautiful women. Has he ever harassed them? So that excuse about the fact that because she's beautiful, she's now in danger. Maybe the suggestion would be that women who are beautiful should wear a burqa so as not to upset the men or to aggravate or to instigate harassment, as you have said. But he said himself that beauty is not a problem for him. He's surrounded by beautiful women and he has never approached them. So that's not the issue about beauty in his opinion. But I want you to talk about the fact that she mentioned that the actions that happened outside the chambers were affecting her job as a senator within the chambers, and that's why she brought the case forward.
There are psychologists who can be more, appropriate in commenting on this sort of issue. Me, I am not an expert in this area. So, sexual harassment in Nigeria, to my mind, is not a big issue.
Really?
Abroad, yes. In Nigeria, okay, when you are sexually harassed, you refuse. That's all. What is important there?
It's not a big
when
issue.
they wink at you, you
wink back.
You wink back.
So it's not
you shake your face.
So it's beyond winking.
I want to wink at you. Wink back.
It's not a big issue.
Beyond winking.
Why do you think toasting a woman is a big issue?
No, it's beyond
It is not.
toasting,
When you
harassment
toast,
is not
the woman will refuse.
No, that's not sexual harassment.
Not toasting.
It's
It's a different thing.
I already explained what happened. Yes, you're right. If someone comes to meet you and talk to you, you have the right to refuse. But if the person who is in a position of authority then decides to use that as a weapon against you, it is a problem. And in many countries around the world, it's a crime. And it's either ways. If you withhold sexual favors from a woman who is a boss, and because of that she denies you promotion, doesn't allow you to do work, in this instance, she has the right to represent her constituents. And if that matter is disturbing that, then she has the right to speak up. And so it's just like our daughters. If we had daughters who come to you and say that, Daddy, there's this man in my office, he's oppressing me, he won't give me promotion, I can't get raised because I refuse to sleep with him. That is sexual harassment. And so it goes beyond winking. It goes beyond, I'm talking to you. It is the fact that a woman has a right, or a man is disturbed as a result of not, if it's consensual, they are both adults. Yeah. But if as a result of me saying no, you refuse to accept the no and then victimize me for that, that's a big problem, sir. Don't you agree?
I'm not an expert in that area. Let us call psychologists. There are people who have gone through this thing. But my own experience, a woman should be skillful to get her way through. A woman, she's an endangered species. And I know some of them that will get their way through no matter what you want to do.
Okay, I want to ask this question, sir. Please, with due respect, sir. If Senator Natasha was your daughter, how would you react to all of this way she's been treated and these allegations of sexual harassment? If she was your own
I have a personal experience.
Okay, sir.
My sister's daughter was at a university in Nigeria,
yes,
and she was being pestered by the lecturer.
Yes.
My sister went to see the lecturer and told him, look, this is the complaint from my daughter. Please leave her alone if you don't want trouble. And the man said, no, it's not, just don't let it be. So there are ways of going out of that. Probably they say they are friends.
But in this case, you can now see that sexual harassment is an issue. At first, you said it's not an issue, but you now see that it was an issue in this country with your sister's daughter, and she took action. But what in this case, where there's nobody to call Senator Godswill Akpabio, because he's the Senate President #3 man, probably the only person that could have probably called him could be the #1 man in the country. And we have not seen, I might not have the facts, in this case where there's nobody that can go and warn the Senate President, as your sister went to do for her daughter's lecturer, what can be done?
In the Senate, every political party has a leader. And probably she could have reported to that leader, who will have approached the Senate President to discuss this matter. And there are ESCO too, executive of the Senate. She can approach them and they will call the Senate President attention to the complaint of the woman. Or tell her husband, let us go and meet your friend to discuss this matter. So the three of them should have sat down. Okay, look, leave my wife alone. What is your problem?
But sir, with due respect, that's what she did by taking it to the ethics committee. But they have now left the substantive case of investigating, which they have not talked anything about that. They are now saying it's because she had an altercation and a thief with the Senate President before, we should suspend her. Because the same thing you are saying, that's what she has done. She has
they exhibited bias. They should have separated the two.
Real quickly, I just want to also ask one question. In your time in the Senate, was there any form of, high-handedness because a man felt it's higher than women? And how did the Senate then deal with matters like this? Misogyny, as it were.
We have a committee of elders, people who are old, who are experienced. They will not allow the Senate to go into this sort of mess.
And you said there are not enough elders in the Senate as we speak today?
I don't know their experience and exposure. But in any institution, don't allow this sort of thing to happen. If you are elderly people, what are elderly people in a community for? You don't sit down. You call yourself, look, let us talk about this thing. We are not talking about us here. We are talking about Nigeria. What is going to be the opinion of Nigerians about this institution? We cannot allow this institution to go down the drain. Look at what is happening now. It's everybody, but look at 13 of them did not sign. But they did not protest properly.
But a lot of people also said there's a level of unfairness, and I'm proving to you. There's been videos making the rounds of the current First Lady when she was in the Senate, that she too stood her ground firmly, but very brazen in some cases. But nothing happened to her. Is it probably because she had a man in her life that was a strong man? Do you think if Natasha's husband was a strong politician too, as Natasha was a strong politician, all of this will happen to
anybody
to her?
that knows distinguished Senator Remi Tinubu will know that she was a teacher, and you don't mess up with a teacher because she will mess you up too. So you cannot go even near that kind of woman because she will stand up. It's just like Itagiwa. They will stand up to you as a man. So it depends. When you look as if you are a female and you are less than a man. That's when it takes.
So why is the Senate now suspending Senator Natasha Akpabio for standing up as a woman?
It was biased.
Okay, so they are wrong.
They are very wrong, of course.
Very good.
They went, something that they should have managed better.
Okay, I want to believe that Senator Akpabio's husband is also a strong man. Men have relative strength depending on the area of operation. Well, I'm sure he's also strong in every respect. But this is a question. What came up over the weekend was the Minister of Women Affairs saying that President Tinubu is going to wade into the matter and that the executive is going to call the parties involved and they will find a way of resolving the matter. Should it be the responsibility of the executive arm of government to inquire into a matter like this on the floor of the National Assembly?
My own, suggestion is for the president to invite a committee of past president of the Senate to talk to them. I think it is more respectful if they go to that avenue, not the president talking to them. He can instigate the past president of the Senate, the other senior member who participated in the Senate around. He can call of them. I think Akpabio will listen to those people a lot more because they will be talking from experience. Because they've been the Senate president before.
So in other words, the Minister of Women Affairs has no role in this matter.
Totally.
And she's wrong to have expressed the view.
Wrong. That is our own interpretation.
Okay.
But my own interpretation, let it be a Senate affair. Let the distinguished past senators, elderly senators, retired senators to come together and go, because we can enter the chamber and talk.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Rufai Oseni said in this very video. You can see that Rufai is a kind of intelligent man. It is very, very unfair that some people always come out to back this man. You know, this man in question, the Rufai Oseni in question, it is beyond reasonable doubt that this man is very intelligent. It is very, very wrong to dispute the fact that he's intelligent. Look at the question that I actually asked that man. That man is not intelligent enough to answer Rufai's question in that very video. You know, Rufai said he already knew the intention of Akpabio and other senators before that they will want to sign it Natasha. Even before they suspended her, Rufai said he already knew the agenda. Even when the court make the ruling that Natasha should not be suspended, they still go ahead, they still suspend her. Now, Rufai was asking the question in that very interview. He said, since they suspended Natasha for gross misconduct, they said they didn't suspend her for what she alleged Akpabio of doing and all of that, but they suspended her for gross misconduct. But the fact remains, who is punishing the Senate? That's the question that Rufai is asking. Who is punishing the Senate? Since the court make ruling that they should not suspend Natasha, they did not do anything to her, all of that, they should not touch her, all of that. Who is now suspending them when they disobey the court order? Who is punishing them? Who is to punish them? Those are the questions that a lot of people are asking. The court make order that don't suspend her, don't do this to her, but you go ahead, you disobey the court order, you suspend her. That's the question that Rufai is asking. And you said you suspend her for gross misconduct. Did the court not see gross misconduct on ground before they ask the Senate not to suspend her? Those are the questions that Rufai was asking in that very video. And I said that's not enough. That man changed his mouth and the man make it not a general public that sexual harassment is not a big issue and all of that. But Rufai shouted, wow, why will you say that? Then he asked the man further questions. Date back to the interview, listen to it again. Rufai asked the man further questions that why will you say that it's not a big issue? He said if a man should blink on the lady, the woman should blink on the man back and all of that. Then the Markman analysis of how her sister's daughter was harassed in school and the sister went through for her daughter in school to the lecturer and all of that. He made that scenario. Now the question Rufai asked in that very video was, can you tell me who can challenge Akpabio as far as the country is concerned, because he's the number 3 man in the country. He's the one that is occupying the 3rd position as far as the country is concerned. Tinubu is occupying the 1st position, Shettima is occupying the 2nd position at the vice, and Akpabio as the Senate president is occupying the 3rd position. Now, who will challenge Akpabio aside Tinubu? Even Shettima may not be able to challenge Akpabio based on this issue. It is only Tinubu, and Tinubu is not saying anything about it. And even when they asked Tinubu's wife question as far as this issue is concerned, she did not come straight. She did not give a straight answer. Now, who is Natasha supposed to report to? Because the man in this very interview was saying that Natasha is supposed to have reported Akpabio to someone or all of that or blah blah blah. But who is Natasha supposed to announce it to? Who is she supposed to tell the story to that Akpabio is harassing her and all of that? Nobody, because this man in question is bigger than a lot of person in the Senate House there. Is bigger than a lot of people as far as Nigeria is concerned based on the seat that is occupying at the moment. Those are the questions that Rufai was actually asking. Now this man coming out to say that sexual harassment is not a big issue is a very big issue. If only Natasha can provide evidence, because you can't accuse someone of something without to providing an evidence. Those are the issues that a lot of people are still having with Natasha at the moment. Provide the evidence and let everything go down. That's the question that a lot of people are asking. Where are the evidences? You are smart enough to have at least one evidence against Akpabio. But if you don't have an evidence against Akpabio, even if it's a common man that you actually accuse of such a thing, the man will still come out to deny it, that no, he did not do it, even when he did it. Those are the things that is out there. I'm not saying that what Natasha is saying about Akpabio is really true, and I'm not saying that what Akpabio is saying is true. That's my own stand. That even that there's evidence now, everything would have been soft, everything would have been sweet. Now, drop a opinion in the comment section of this video. Do you really think Natasha have an evidence in stock? Do you think so? Because this woman said that she have evidence that she don't want to release it until the investigation begins. What do you think? Do you really think Natasha have an evidence, or she's just trying to play on the intelligence of Akpabio and all of that? Drop your opinion. Feel free to say your mind at the comment section, as I'm gonna there to get another training for you, and share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where? Politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.